It's 4:55 a.m. here. The owls are hooting. And the very first sounds of the birds and the cracking light over the mountains as dawn rises above the lake. And I've become aware that in the story, we're moving into two different worlds. The choice has already been made. And beyond the decision to experience these worlds through love or fear, there seems to have been another subset. Whether you enter a world that is controlled by technology as its illusion, or one that is more deeply rooted in nature and a natural way of living, although it need not eschew technical advancements. One world is a world of telling and being told and knowing things. And the other worldview is one of being and resting in the natural backdrop that was given of the story of this world, this planet, this earth on which we seem to live. And one is not better than the other. Lovely breeze kissing my cheek this early morning. And though one is not better than the other, it is truly helpful to become aware of this almost subset, like a drop-down menu of the world we look upon, so that we can be mindful of the choice for love and fear in every moment by noticing the backdrop guidance that will come with each worldview. Think of it as watching a series on TV. You've chosen to watch a medical drama, or you've chosen to watch something set in the wilds of deepest Africa. Whichever worldview you're operating from, your chosen attraction in this seeming lifetime. Being aware of your backdrop guidance right now will do much to support your holy mind in coming back to alignment and coming into the fullness of being done through. With every thought system and point of view, there will be pitfalls where living a routine or regulated life will hide from you the invitation of the moment, the inspiration of the moment, and the intimacy of the presence that is your basic nature. And so that we can release deeper into accepting what is and witnessing to the past, which is all we're doing, whatever we look upon. Being aware of what your backdrop guidance is can be truly helpful. We very much want to trade knowing something for being known. We want to swap getting for giving ourselves a chance to get to know thyself and to give of the joy of those insights. And there is an ever-present call to prefer peace over any choice in form. And as I share with you here today, there's birds waking up all around. And I don't know their names. And I'm not going to try and find out. I'm going to listen to their song and let their call of awakening sing to my heart. And in A Course in Miracles, it says, all you need to have a happy day is not to activate the past, organize the present, or plan the future. And if you are moving deeper into a technological world, it's important to know that AI Assist very much wishes to do that for you. And perhaps that's a blessing. Perhaps it frees you up to be in presence with the Spirit more. There's also a temptation to rely on being told what to do and outsourcing your personhood and critical thinking, when what we've been asked to do is to transcend it and be done through. And yet it's still all just a reflection. There are no bad actors. No harm can come to the one watching as it awakens to the truth of being. And it is no better to be in what looks like a natural environment with birds singing that there's dawn in you than to be in front of a computer screen. In truth, purpose is the only choice, and what you would use it for. And it's that singular purpose that is your backdrop guidance. Because when you are pristinely clear in that singular purpose of forgiveness for everything, that it's for giving you an opportunity to remember the truth of who you are and who your brother and sister are in Christ. In fact, the entire reflection is that call to remember, to member yourself in the tribe of Christ once more. And when we forget that, the complexity of what's before us can become enticing and tempting to try to resolve through the form. And yet now, when I come to look upon my own affairs of the world, when I look at numbers for accounts, or when I look at a seeming plan for the day, or where to be, or where to go, it pretty much ends in laughter. Because with a wry smile, I'm like, I don't know. I really don't know. I really don't know anything. And even trying to conceptualize an idea of what's unfolding gets very challenging and very strange. Because I immediately feel like I'm talking rubbish. That what I'm saying is nonsense. And so I find the easiest way to think about it is that I'm open to being shown. And that undoes the telling and the being told and the knowing something. And the shoulding. The should know something. Should have a plan. Should be aware. I'm listening. That's my part. There's a lot more light in the sky now. Though it's not showing up on the screen. And I find it very comforting to always remember that you only wake from happy dreams. So that the Spirit's plan, the plan of atonement, the plan of awakening that is for you in a highly individualized way as you experience it, has to be a happy one. It has to lead you to unexpected heights of great joy and contentment. And so, rather than logically trying to figure out the world or what it's doing or what's showing up, our job is to let go and let God, and to sink even deeper into trust. And having that backdrop guidance in awareness supports doing that. Having, for a period of seeming time, a go-to criteria for the mind to relax into is like having a big armchair that fits you perfectly. And over time, that backdrop guidance may shift when a new scenario is needed for the mind to address different deeply held beliefs and conflicting desires. So if you feel that your backdrop guidance is to get out and be in what seems to be, and what we call the natural world more, to live closer to the land, the seasons, the weather, the birds and the animals, the fungi and the creepy crawlies and the trees and the bushes and the flowers of the field. Then I would say a song of harmony and a deeper surrender that undoes the belief in competition and ideas of lack and need. And to see the true ecology that all things work together for good is the call. Those would be the elements that would be up for healing. And particularly any ideas of dominating nature and any adversity in relation to it. Any survivalist mentality. Rather than coming back into that Mother Nature concept of being provided for, being a child of the earth and being in harmony and alignment with what is. Being moved to match the moment and acknowledge the season. Being able to read the sign of the times. And so too with the technological, more technology-based lifestyle. Reading the signs of the times is not meant to frighten or make us koto or even adhere more to a new structure but simply to question, what is it for? How can this support my holy mind? Holy Spirit, decide for God for me. And if this is the direction of my calling and my ministry while I am seemingly here, what would you have me do? What would you have me say? What would you have me be? And I feel the technology world is going to be calling for very much rendering unto Caesar what is Caesar's. Going with the flow, allowing conflict resolution as it appears in the story to be exactly as it is and not fight it, to not be against what's happening, but to use it for awareness in your holy mind, and then through guidance to be as guided, which in first and foremost is peaceful, at peace with watching the past. When we take an attitude of for or against something, we are, with the for, expanding our focus, and with the against, narrowing it. And so even if you do not like something, it is truly more helpful to be for what you do like than against what you do not. And in the putting of your focus on the forgiveness, for peace, then you will begin to see that all things work together for good. Technology will not be used to control you. You will be aware that you have signed up to allow technology to take you on a journey as a backdrop. And as you go through it, you will watch if you begin to defer to automated programming, or if you retain not discernment in terms of critical thinking in your own mind, which you have now given over the critical thinking to the AI mind, but instead become pristinely aware of how you feel. Because that is not something that another can tell you about yourself. That is your responsibility. That is your responsibility for sight, to become aware of how you feel about what you look upon and with whom you are looking. And the only temptation will ever be to place our trust in the form of something, in the outcome of situational thinking, and in the reliance upon the body and the sustaining of the body as the outpicturing of our sense of security, safety, and mental health. Because all healing is in mind. And the world can only reflect where there's still healing. That owl flew about 1 foot over my head and the camera just now. It's huge. It's sitting cooing at me from the top of a tree. I guess it's used to having its own deck in the mornings. And so it has some communication for me. I guess the communication is the wisdom to know the difference, like in the Serenity Prayer. And in every moment to stay very pristinely close to noticing how you feel. Does this feel like it's helping or hindering the restoration of peace in my awareness? And even though everything can be used for forgiveness, there is a path that has been laid long ago, an answer that's been given, a slipstream into which we can move that transcends the minutiae of this world and the illusion of multiplicity and choice in form. And so that wisdom to know the difference. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. The courage to change the things I can, which is my mind. And the wisdom to know the difference. And when I spoke at a recent gathering, a lot of upset was raised in the mind. At the awareness that, as it says in A Course in Miracles, I have no control over the world I made. And it brought up some fear and anger in those listening. Because when you hear a statement like that, and you really transfer the training of it to your life, the implications are huge. The irony is that what it gets rid of is all anxiety, all preparation, all finagling and controlling and coercing and manipulation of time and space, because it's the past and a waste of time. And instead, it demands that the mind be drawn directly into the present moment to see that nothing is wrong. Nothing is out of accord. Everything is exactly as it needs to be for the mind to awaken. And that's all divine providence is. everything freely given that's needed for awakening. But to one who's identified with planning, worrying, doing, controlling, and even comforting their brothers and sisters, this feels like a demotion, like they've just been made redundant. And because they've always been redundant, they just didn't know it. Furloughed, surplus to requirements. And the ego does not take kindly to having its function questioned and queried and qualified with such a statement as, you have no control over the world you made. Because it likes to act as that interface between the you that's watching and the seeming activity on the screen. And nearly all of its interfacing is just a thinking about things. Very little of it's even the doing or the action that seems to be a component when you look at the screen. It really is that engineering of ideas in the background, that subroutine that's running in the mind. Well, it's time we all clear our cache and put on the screensaver and just learn to watch as each scene dissolves into the next and swishes by. Because that's the only way you're ever going to have a happy day. Is if you really look at it without an interfering thought that anything should be different, that anything is needed of you, that you are required at all. I need do nothing except not to interfere. And so our roads seem to be branching all over the place right now. Dichotomy seems to be the theme of the day, for, against, nature versus technology, either or, Canadian, American, Ukrainian, Russian, Israeli or Palestinian, black or white, yellow or purple, but that's just the distraction. That's the polarization that actually supports the clarity of what the only real choice is. And it's not between things and form. That's literally a trauma. So as long as you're coming from forgiveness, then follow the choice that seems to bring a lightening and a heart opening, even if it's seemingly in form. And let that draw and that gentle attraction lead you into choiceless awareness. And that's all I do now. I just look upon things, not knowing, not understanding, not trying to figure them out. Whether I'm looking at numbers on a spreadsheet, or a menu in a restaurant, or on two roads diverging in a wood, or a highway. And I yield. I yield to the direction that forgiveness wants to take the mind. I yield to His way. And His way always begins to light up and illuminate. And something that will feel deeply, personally, authentically attractive will sparkle in that direction, will call to you in a very gentle, open, childlike way to come here. It will never have that high razzmatazz zing of the ego and the panic and the heart-thumping, almost anxiety of exhilaration. It will always feel easy, acceptable, like it's an acquaintance calling you. Over here. Yeah, come this way, you're welcome. I have laid a table before you. Come into my little garden and rest. And as you begin to find those oasis draws that will be coming towards you, when you are willing at last to have a happy day, which means you are willing not to activate the past, organize the present, or plan the future, then the story will come to you. You won't have to generate it, make it happen, figure it out, put it in place. The invitation to your next adventure of forgiveness is already planned by one who loves you and knows what's best for all in every circumstance. And that answer, that capital A answer, is the choice you make. When you allow your heart to lead you into the truth of who you are.